Roundtable. I'm John Kirby, your host. Our correspondents are as follows.
Mark,
Joe,
and Brian.
All right, we're going to kick it off with the Celtics. Not doing so well in the postseason in their first series against the Knicks. What do you guys think about it?
I kind of saw it coming, to be honest. The Celtics are a good team, but the Knicks have been on a run for quite a while.
Yeah, and they're still hot.
Hot.
Carried over.
Yep.
and you know who really is a Celtic killer is J.R. Swish. You know, they got
Your boy?
Yeah, my boy. They got
Man of the year.
Yeah, definitely, and he deserved it. 18.1 points per game, most in a while, and you know, Paul Pierce is doing everything he can. He's really carrying the team at this point, I'd have to say.
He's a trooper.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
Gotta give it to him.
there's so much hustle. It's just fun to watch.
Our boy Paul.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to say Paul Pierce does not hustle. I'm going to say that Kevin Garnett is really the true hustle player on the team right now.
In the 5 minutes that he plays.
Yeah.
Especially with his now known injury to his hip flexor.
Yeah, Shavlik's getting more minutes than Garnett right now.
Well, you know, Shavlik's a great player.
Not as good as Garnett. Not as good as Garnett.
And, you know, Pierce is he's the only one that's shooting low. He's the only one that's distributing, you know.
All right, Mark. What is happening in the second half? Put up 101 points combined if you had the first halves of both games played. Is it age? Do you think Pierce and Kevin Garnett are running out of gas in the second half? Do you think the time Kevin Garnett took off at the end of the season put him in a position where he isn't in shape to play a full game?
Well, I think fouls are what's keeping Garnett out. As far as Pierce, I think he's playing really well. He just needs a little help at this point in his career.
Jeff Green has to step up like he did near the end of the regular season. How about Pierce?
I think that another key is going to be Jason the Jet Terry. I mean, he doesn't even deserve that nickname right now, the Jet. He's not doing anything. We need him to return to the 2011 finals where the Mavericks won it. My boy Dirk. What?
Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs.
They did not make the playoffs, unfortunately. They did make the 500 mark.
Fantastic.
Yep. But we need Jason Terry to return to his old form. I don't think he's hit a shot in the playoffs yet.
He has.
He has.
He hit
well,
3
in the
threes in the first half.
game, he did not.
Yeah.
And when Avery Bradley produces offensively, that's big too because he's always a defensive power, but once he starts shooting well.
Yeah, when you see Paul Pierce feeding Avery Bradley on the cuts, that's when they're at their best. Yeah.
I think what the Celtics really need to focus on in the next couple games is limiting their turnovers. That's definitely been a problem lately, especially the first game I remember, leading to them having such a low-scoring second half, which is really hurting them in the series.
At least they're starting strong. Upside. But we keep blowing our leads.
Yeah. Should Doc Rivers be making changes at this point in the second half, or what do you guys think?
If we lose the next game, you gotta. Then you're gonna have to put it all out on the table, you know.
Well, what do you guys think is going to be the result of the game tomorrow night? Do you think the Celtics are going to come back and win at home?
It's a home game, right? Yeah. I think the Celtics can pull it off.
Yeah,
if Pierce keeps it up, maybe.
I think the Celtics will win tomorrow night, especially if they can get their bench involved.
And limit their turnovers, then easy W.
Yep. How much of a factor is Rondo being out? Would we have been a factor in the first 2 games?
Well, you know, he's a good player, so definitely hurts.
Yeah, and Rondo really always
He's in
played.
control,
Yeah, Rondo always.
That's what I was gonna say. Sure.
He really played well against the Knicks before he got injured, and I think that they're really missing him right now.
No matter what you say, he's an elite point guard. We could definitely use him. We could use anybody we have at the moment, being down 0-2. We could just use him running plays, staying in control, and limiting turnovers.
I also think that a big part of winning this series for the Celtics is that I mean, they're not the best team in the league at this point, but they're best.
Take it back. Just kidding.
Best trash talking unit in the league, I would say. I think that's how they got Carmelo to not score so much in the first game they played against this season. I mean, Kevin Garnett was in his ear the whole game. I think they need to do more of that.
Definitely.
What factor will playing at home be for the Celtics on tomorrow?
I think it's going to be huge. We have some of the greatest fans in the world, so I think that the home advantage is definitely going to help the Celtics for the next 2 games, and hopefully bring it back to New York for Game 6 and 7.
No Celtics team has come back from 0-2 deficit since the 60s. Do you think they can pull it off?
It'll be tough, but I think we can.
No. I'd be shocked.
I would be a little shocked too, but there's hope.
Yeah.
I mean, if they lose the next game tomorrow night, it's over. But
It's over.
I think it's over at this point.
The Celtics have
All
had
right, Mark.
great
Could be over
players,
by tomorrow.
and if they can only get it done since the 60s, it's definitely going to be tough.
Yep. Do you guys have any thoughts about the other playoff series going on right now?
Pretty much what we expected at this point.
Yep.
I was impressed by the Golden State Warriors scoring 131 points against the
Yeah.
Denver Nuggets
They
team.
shot like 67%. It was crazy.
Yeah, something like that. And I think I saw that 4 players were over 20 points, which definitely fueled the offensive outburst to
Yeah, that
lift
helps.
the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Points
definitely.
on the board.
They're definitely going to miss their all-star this year, David Lee, after he hurt his hip flexor.
I think they have a good guard play, and he will be missed, but I don't think that's going to be the end for the Warriors.
I don't think so either, but I mean, they need to keep their other big man, Andrew Bogut, healthy.
Definitely.
He got destroyed in the first game. You remember that dunk?
Yeah, but
All right, moving on to the NFL. Obviously, the draft right now. Who do you think is going to be the first pick?
Luke Jokel.
I'm gonna go against the popular opinion and go with Eric Fisher.
You're wrong. Nope.
But, yeah.
I'm with you, Mark. I'm going to go against the popular opinion. Go with more underrated guy, Manti Te'o. I really think he could help the team out right now.
Yeah, no chance. As far as Eric Fisher, he kind of fits the mold of a Kansas City Chiefs player. You know, really hard-nosed. He's a hard tackle, fights really well.
I think Luke has all those qualities too, and Luke understands the game really well, and you can tell that he's going to be a big-time lineman.
I mean, he protected the Heisman Trophy winner last year, and I don't know how that'll transfer to the NFL, but
Unsung hero.
he was
I'm
the
pretty sure he was
answer.
pretty
Yeah.
sound.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I guess he's sung because he's projected to be the first pick.
Fisher.
All right, the Patriots have 5 picks, the lowest ever. What do you think they will do? Keep the pick as they are, or do some trading to receive more higher picks?
Definitely trade. I mean, they do it every year, even if they have more picks.
yeah, they definitely should trade.
Yeah, I'm not really
Yeah.
worried. I'm thinking they trade out of the first round and then continue to trade down from there. Maybe even trade a few of their players, low-key players.
Yep.
So. And I think that's okay this year because picks like 15 through 45 are all really similar players, or not similar players,
But
but
if you can get somebody like Tavon Austin in the first round with our pick, that'd
Yeah.
be pretty big.
yeah.
What positions do you think we need help at? And do you think we should use the draft to fill those holes, or maybe trade, or what?
I think definitely use the draft,
Yeah.
and undrafted rookie free agents are always a big piece of the Patriots
Yeah.
roster.
The rest of the free agent market is pretty dry now, though. Yeah.
Yeah, no matter who we get for the positions we eventually get, the Patriots are going to take care of it. They might not see the most time on the field, but they'll eventually turn into football players.
Do you think that Bill Belichick, the genius, does a good job in the draft?
Definitely.
Yes.
And if not in the draft, then definitely with the undrafted free agents,
Right.
like
Yep.
I was saying. Rookie free agents.
Okay.
People, sorry.
Go ahead.
People don't necessarily like how he drafts, especially on draft night, because they're expecting some big name to come and play for the Patriots, but that's not how the Patriots do it. They go after role players that they see potential in more than the big names that could easily be busts.
Yep. The Patriots will add 20 players to the roster before training camp this year. What role will picking up undrafted players play in this year's roster? A big part, obviously. As we've
A
said.
big one.
All right, let's move on to the Red Sox. Currently in first place in the AL East, 2-game lead over Baltimore, and 2.5 ahead of the New York Yankees. What do you guys think about the Red Sox so far?
It was unexpected, but it's good to see the Red Sox.
I expected it.
Brian did call this.
I mean, they have the best record in the AL right now after beating Oakland yesterday, and they're probably going to win again today. They have the best record in all of baseball, so it's looking up.
Yeah.
Got a good pitching rotation and great work from new acquisitions of Shane Victorino and Mike Napoli.
Yeah, I think definitely, like we've been saying, John Farrell has really played a big part in this, He's just getting all those guys playing really well. Napoli especially,
Nope.
with all those ribbies.
Buchholz leads the majors with a .9 ERA, holding it heading into today's start against the Houston Astros. 3 runs in 30 innings. What do you guys think about Buchholz?
Well, he's been playing amazing, and I mean, the Astros are the worst team in baseball, so I don't really think that there's that much risk, but who knows? Anything can happen.
Yeah, the Astros are the team that have the most strikeouts in the MLB, and with a dominant pitcher in Buchholz, I see an easy win coming today. I'm guaranteeing a win today.
Big promise.
Not really. It's the Astros. It's not that big of a
John Lester with a tough win yesterday, joined Buchholz at 4-0 on the season with a 2.27 ERA. What do you guys think?
This guy's a fighter. He's come back from his injury, and he's playing really well.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I think he's getting a little overshadowed by how great of a season Buchholz is having, but it's still a really great season with the 1-2 punch of Buchholz and Lester that can definitely put us in the postseason.
All right. Out of the 14 wins Boston has, 9 of them come from games started by Buchholz or Lester. Aceves was sent to the Paw Sox. Beloved Paw Sox.
He was our worst player, thank
Yeah,
God.
we
He
all
was
saw
not.
that one coming.
Yeah.
Especially after Jackie Bradley Jr. got sent down there. You just couldn't send him down without sending down Alfredo.
Yeah, so it's really been
That's his name.
it's been a weak point for the Red Sox. His ERA is through the roof, and it's really not helping the Sox right now as they go through.
In our most recent loss, he was destroyed, and we lost 13-0.
Pretty much all him.
Basically all him.
Napoli is on fire. .278 average with 25 ribbies. Hasn't played a full season in 2 years. Do you think he can keep his pace?
No.
Wow, you're being very negative today, Mark.
No, I just gave the Red Sox a lot of credit, especially the pitchers. And Napoli has done a great job. I touched on that earlier. I just, he's a wily veteran. I don't see how he can keep up with his pace for the rest of the year.
He's been our most consistent player. Like, he's not putting up huge numbers when you look at them. Like, he's got a lot of RBIs, sure, but He doesn't have superstar numbers like Chris Davis does right now. He's batting like 270. He's just a role player, and he's doing his job.
Exactly, Brian.
All right. Okay, Joe. Go ahead.
I give a lot of credit to the guys in front of them, just getting on base, finding ways to get into scoring position, and Napoli being a pretty strong guy, he can just lift it into the outfield and hopefully get a sac fly.
It all comes together.
It all comes together eventually.
What factor do you guys think that having David Ortiz back in the lineup will have? Will this keep the pressure off our starters? No, there is another slugger in the lineup.
In my opinion, I think that Ortiz needs a little bit more time to adjust to the pitching in the MLB after coming back from Pawtucket. I think that he should still be in the lineup, but I don't think he should be hitting third after coming back. I think Napoli should continue batting third to continue his RBI streak and stay hot.
I like that Farrell has confidence in his veterans, and this is David Ortiz's city, as we all saw.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. He's still batting 500 from when he's come back, so he's hitting really solid
impressive.
as of right now. It is, Mark.
Yep. What do you think has sparked this team into an entertaining team to watch? Do you think last year's moves of dumping Crawford, Uke, Valentine, etc., helped the overall morale of the team?
Definitely. When I think of it, I think back to a couple years ago when the Denver Nuggets traded Carmelo and got rid of J.R. Smith and brought in a bunch of role players, just like we see right here. And Denver's doing pretty well, and then the Sox are hitting the ball, scoring some runs.
I think.
I guess I could see that, but kind of hard to see. Two very different sports. Mark.
It's about
the same principle, though.
Yeah.
And I mean, Uke I could have kept. I liked Uke, but
Yeah.
Valentine was poison to the team, and Crawford just didn't fit here in Boston.
Crawford, I think, just melted under the spotlight because he came in with a pretty big deal. The Red Sox were really hoping that he'd be a player as he was when he was on the Tampa Bay Rays, but he just never amounted to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's hitting great with the Dodgers right now. I think he's batting like 320 and scored about 20 runs or something like that.
He didn't do that here.
You did not.
Okay.
That's right. The Bruins, bad end so far for the end of the regular season. 1 win out of the last 6 games played. Do you think they can wake up in time to start playing better, or is this a team that might have to peak too early this season?
I feel bad. I sound like a broken record, but I don't
No.
see the passion. I don't see the fight when they're playing in the games, and I think that's resulting in a lower, team chem. It's definitely they're not coherent in thinking as one.
No camaraderie.
I think that's, no camaraderie, and that's really resulting in some bad L's in the L column.
I agree.
I think that.
Yeah, I think they can still pull it out.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Together
Yeah,
for the
there's no
postseason,
doubt.
though.
All it needs is one big fight, one big goal, one big win to start them off again.
Inspiration.
All right, Mark.
That was great.
I'm going to send that to Chara right now.
What were you going to say, Joe?
I was just going to say that their NHL playoff opponent isn't going to be that strong because the Bruins are pretty high up there in the standings. I think they're in between second and
place.
fourth.
They're in
Mhm.
second place.
They're in
Yeah.
second place? Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
playing
59
the-
points.
Yeah, I think that easily they'll get through the first round opponent and hopefully get their legs back under them as they start playing tougher opponents going through the playoffs.
All right, out of all of the sports we cover on this show, hockey seems to be the least popular. You be watching. No, that's not statistical.
I'm wearing a
but-
NASCAR hat.
But
Just kidding.
yeah. All right. Will you be watching the Bruins and their postseason run? Does you?
Nothing is more exciting than a little hockey in the postseason.
Okay.
It is really fun to watch.
I like
Definitely
it.
be watching.
I might not catch every game, but I'll do my best to support my city.
Okay. Sounds right. All right. So, going on to local sports, the Herald Top 10 has the boys.
Wait.
What?
Okay.
What?
Never mind. Go on. Go on.
Boston Herald Top 10 has the boys lacrosse team as the number 1 team in Division 3, and the DS girls at 4. What do you guys think of our lacrosse program here?
It was expected. A lot of great players coming back, and a lot of good play out of sophomores and juniors.
Yep,
that-
especially Chris Williams
And Mark
and
Sizer.
Mark.
Yeah.
And Mark. You gotta give it to Mark.
And Davies has been huge too for talking about sophomores.
Dill.
I was talking about Matthew, but
Well, Dill's a big.
Dill provides team spirit. Yeah,
Very true.
it's the backbone.
Big games this week as both teams take on the Medfield Warriors for the first time this season. How do you think those games will fare?
It's definitely going to be a huge game for the lacrosse team, and it's going to be really interesting.
Okay.
Medfield's always good in a lot of sports, but we can definitely take them in.
You got the 2 best teams in the TVL going head to head, so this is huge.
Yeah. Show up.
6:30.
Yeah. All right. Good luck to all of our teams this weekend, especially to Chris Williams. This is the Roundtable, and we'll see you next week.